have to tell this crowd this, but in 1989, Boys Town wasn't Boys Town. It was called Halsted Street, and it was in Lakeview. And there was no such thing as Wrigleyville. Wrigley Field was also in Lakeview. These are real estate salespeople designations that we now somehow adhere to. But it makes me a little bit wistful for the old days when we just called places what they actually were. At the time, I was living at Halsted in Waveland, 813 West Waveland. My building was about 300 feet west of Halsted Street and 2 blocks east of Wrigley Field. And the Cubs had just put in the lights the year before, 1988, on 8/8/88, which marked the end of a 3-month drought, if I may get rather trivial on you. It rained on my birthday, May 21st, 1988, and it didn't rain again until August 8th, 1988, the first night game. Just an aside. But those night games triggered 2 other Lakeview realities, mainstays, facts of life, which are, number 1, widespread public urination on the part of Cubs fans and residential parking permits. Our kitchen window looked out onto a vacant lot full of weeds and heavy equipment, broken down buses, and feral cat colony. That lot is now the home to the Center on Halsted. Times have changed. From there in June, I could see where they staged the Pride Parade, which back then used to come into an inharmonious congruence with a bunch of Cardinals fans or Phillies fans or whatever, where they met at Halsted and Waveland and looked at each other like, what the hell? Nowadays you walk into Target and you see a master display of Pride gear. It's different. Across the street from our house was a really sketchy bar called the LA Connection, and there was an enormous amount of cocaine being sold out of the LA Connection, most of it to my roommate. My bedroom window looked out onto Waveland and into the alley behind the bar, and I saw drunk people. I also saw the dumpster derby that took place twice a night, where they dumped all the bottles and cans into the dumpster from the garbage bins inside the bar. There wasn't a lot of sleep going on in my bedroom. On Friday and Saturday night, that bar stayed open until 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning. And it opened at 7 a.m. In that 2-hour period, their burglar alarm went off more often than you'd think. I think it may have something to do with the cash that was exchanging hands in the bar. Just a hunch. Their burglar alarm was a bullhorn on a stick on the roof that spun around and said, burglar, burglar, burglar. Very literal. And if you know that area, that cop shop is a block south at Halsted and Waveland, and they could not give a flying fuck if the burglar alarm at the LA Connection was going off at 6 o'clock in the morning during that 2-hour period in which they were closed. My roommate at the time was a fellow named Corey, who was a very complicated guy. I once came home to find him at the dining room table with his Jewel Osco card, cutting an 8-ball of cocaine into really super OCD even lines. He looks at me, he's like, you want any? He's like, it's so handy having an LA Connection across the street. This is great. He had just moved there to Chicago from Green Bay and was obviously enjoying the benefits of living in the big city. The other thing about Corey was that he was a general surgery first-year resident at one of the Northside hospitals that many of you have been treated at. Sorry. And a raging alcoholic. So one evening, Corey and I were in the living room watching a Cubs game, and we were so close to the park that we could hear Harry Carey singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," which in retrospect sounds kind of quaint and cool, but Harry Carey spit a lot. He drank a lot of beer. He pronounced Hispanic names backwards because he was drunk. Harry Carey wasn't exactly my cup of tea at the time, but I thought it was nice that I could hear the song each night. So we're on the couch and I hear this sound in the kitchen and Corey hears it. It's a crash followed by like a flump, 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 flump. And we race from the couch to the kitchen door. We look out around the corner and the spice rack that was on the wall next to the stove was on the floor. The wastebasket lid was on the floor. And the wastebasket was walking towards us. We pause, and there's that awful sound of, I guess we'll call them fingernails, on plastic coming up the Rubbermaid wastebasket when the little hands or paws of a rat and his nose peek out, look at us and make eye contact. Oh, you're home. I did what most normal people would do, was I ran to my bedroom screaming, slammed the door, and I built a barricade of clothing around the bottom of my door. Corey, being a medical doctor, had textbooks, so he built a barricade of medical textbooks on the outside and the inside of his door. And this is, of course, pre-cell phone, so our only means of communication about what we were going to do was to open our bedroom windows and peek out and go, what should we do? All night the creature just tore through our apartment. We heard sawing sounds, climbing, jumping, scratching sounds, scraping, squeaking, running.
Oh my God.
It was having a fucking ball. The next morning, we crept out of our bedrooms and the rat was gone. There was sawdust everywhere and wood chips. It had chewed the bottom of every single door in the apartment. So I also had a bagel and a tote bag from work and had dragged the bagel out of the tote bag and there was like a cartoonish zigzag mark through the bagel, through the bag of where I'd eaten, and it had stopped halfway. I'm like, cinnamon raisin bagels, that's a real bagel. I don't care if you're Jewish, that is a bagel. But it apparently got halfway through and was like, I'm sorry. I was hoping for, sesame. So I packed a suitcase and went to stay with my boyfriend. And when I got to work that day, I called the building maintenance guy, whose name was Fido, and I got his voicemail. His voicemail said, hello, Fido. Leave message to beep. I called the management company. I said, Fido is unavailable. They said, it's your job to buy rat traps. Go to Ace Hardware, get rat traps. Corey and him decided to sleep at home. And he was friends with our downstairs neighbors, but I think he just wanted to sleep in his own bed. So he barricaded himself in his room with his textbooks, and then a couple days later he added vinyl records. And he had a couple of rat-free nights. And eventually he got Fido to come over. And Fido came up with what I thought was an excellent solution. This is pre-Google, by the way. He stuck a bunch of steel wool down the hole in the bathroom vanity because he found a hole under our bathroom sink where he thought that the fellow was coming through. And he stuck steel wool down there, and then he took some DIY cement and mixed it up and poured it down the hole through the steel wool. And I thought that sounded really, excellent. Fido just trapped the rat between the floors. Corey says, no, Fido knows what he's doing. Problem solved. So I decided I was going to stay at home that night. And we took pictures of all the damage because I didn't want, the management company was really kind of sketchy, and I thought they're just going to keep our security deposit at the end. They're going to say, you got on your face on the floor and chewed those fucking doors. Because that's something like people like you would do. So the first night I was home, everything was quiet except for like the Cubs urinators and the LA Connection patrons who I was supposed to be thankful for, but I wasn't. There's one night where there was an argument over who was the bigger, excuse me, I don't even know if I can say this anymore, F-A-G-G-O-T. It was a weird thing where I wanted to go out and referee the argument, but again, I didn't feel qualified just being a little F-A-G hag at the time. Anyway, Corey came home that night about 3:30 in the morning, and so Corey's a cocaine enthusiast, alcoholic doctor, and he came home about 3:30 in the morning, and the phone rings around 6, and it's his OR charge nurse. He's like, Dr. Brandt is due in the OR immediately. And I was like, alrighty. So I hang up and I go in, this is landline time. Again, you guys can relate. Yeah, phone on the wall. And I go down the hall, I'm like, Corey, the OR nurse says you're supposed to be in surgery now. So he gets up and he gets himself ready and leaves for surgery. And then I sat there and like, I feel kind of morally responsible for whoever is on the table right now. And I call the nurse back, I'm like, Dr. Corey probably shouldn't be operating today. And she was like, understood, period. Oh, okay, good. We're all on the same page about Corey's operating ability at this particular juncture. So Corey comes home, goes back to sleep. And the next night I'm thinking, okay, one night without rats, I think we're good. I stayed overnight the next night. I wake up to go to the bathroom. The sun's just coming up. I go to the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom and picture me. Open the door. A rat runs between my ankles, grazes both of my ankle bones. I made a noise that spanned 6 octaves, 130 decibels, and woke up apartment building as I ran out of our front door, down the stairs, out into the courtyard, through the courtyard, into the middle of the street, where I was met by a couple of LA Connection patrons who said, "Are you okay?" And then my roommate, my neighbors come out and say, "Did Corey start a fight with you?" And I'm thinking, he doesn't even know that I busted him last night for going to surgery drunk. These are the kind of stories you just don't tell your mom, you know? Like your mom calls you like, how's it going? Oh, it's good. Rats, cocaine, drunk roommate, surgery, everything's fine. Corey, in the meantime, I'm out in the middle of the street with the LA Connection folks who turned out to be the very nicest people. And Corey yells, "It's over, come back inside." I go back into the room, into the apartment. Corey has a 1-gallon empty container, an empty shed spread margarine container with 2 dead rats in it. He's holding a broomstick with blood. This is like a Forensic Files episode before Forensic Files existed. He's like, I killed him. Badass. We took the rats to our management company the next day. And Corey, despite his personal difficulties and the struggles he had in his life as an alcoholic, drug-addicted doctor, he was on message when it came to broader public health. He showed those people his rats, he said, "Do you have any idea how many germs these animals can spread in an apartment building with just one visit, much less weeks?" I moved out shortly after that, and Corey and I stayed in touch through friends. He may have been a mess of a human being, but at the time, he was actually pretty cool when it came to stopping the spread of bubonic plague in Lakeview, Wrigleyville, and Boys Town. Now if there's only something we could do about those Cubs fans urinators. Thank you.